Everyone, I'm Melissa C. Williams, and this is the BBPN Business Podcast. And today I'm going to talk to the young people and to the adults in reference to buying your first vehicle. Okay, so growing up, I got my first car. It was $3,000. This was way back. I was 17 years old. I was going to a school that was kind of far away from home. So when I was 16, I got my permit. And when I was 17, I got my first car. How I got my car was my mom made a deal with me and she said, if you want to get this car, you're going to have to pay for half of it. So we found a car for $3,000, a Pontiac J2000, and it was a really good used car. So I worked that summer to save up my money, my part of the money for the car. So I worked for Congressman Pallone, who back then was Senator Pallone in Long Branch. So I worked the entire summer and I saved up all my money and we bought the car, my first used car. Okay, so that's how I got my car. Now, everybody is not going to be able to match the funds for their teenager or young people to get a car. So you young people, you're going to have to be diligent and determined and do your own thing. So my son, I want to tell you a little story about my son, how he got his car. So I tried to do the same thing like my parents did with me to buy his vehicle. We ended up, me being a single parent, I found this Cadillac and I went out and bought the car. After the money he saved, I put up some money, and the car was just it was a lemon. It was horrible. I didn't know that I should have gotten a Carfax. I didn't know what I was doing. So the car kept cutting off, and my poor son, he just went through it. Now he was working at McDonald's. He had been there for quite some time. He was also he had just made assistant manager, so he was doing pretty good, and he was making pretty good money. So that car that we had, we just took it and junked it. So we took it to the junkyard and sold the parts for money, which is something that you can do. So we found this place called A Lot of Cars, which was located in Monmouth County. All right, A Lot of Cars. It was a used car place. Now my son at the time, 17, 18 years old, never he doesn't have any credit, never had a car, doesn't have anything. So this is his first time. But he did, however, have a bank account and he had a good job and he had a pay stub. So what these people did was, I don't know if they did what you call their own financing. So the car I think was like $5,000, or I don't know what it was, like 3,000 or 5,000, and it was a Maxima, nice car too. So with a cosigner, me being the cosigner, because he didn't have credit, so I would co-sign the loan, which means that if he reneged on the payments, I would be responsible for the payments. If I reneged on the payments, then I guess they would repo the car, okay, or they call it repossession. So my son, he did very well. His payments were, he got this car, his payments were $75 a week. So every single time he got paid, he went over to this place, A Lot of Cars, out in Neptune, which wasn't far, and he made his payments. Now, as far as the insurance goes, I kept him on my insurance and I helped him pay it, but he paid his own insurance as well. So he paid for the car and he paid for the insurance. Now, when he reached a certain age, as he began to mature and became responsible, he was able to do all this on his own, okay? So he made his car payments every week. So this was a used car dealership. So this is something that you can do, or you can buy a car outright. But young people, if you're ready for a vehicle, you've gotten your permit, then you went and you got your driver's license, your next step, you should be saving already. Start saving when you're 16 years old for a car. So you can either start by getting a job at a place like McDonald's or Dunkin' Donuts, Chick-fil-A, something in your area, Walmart. Start working. You want to start, you want to make sure you have a pay stub so you can give these people, so that, they know that you will make these payments, or they're hoping that you'll make the payments. Okay, once the car's paid off, what they'll do is, since they're going to hold the title and the plates on the vehicle, they'll transfer it over to your name once it's paid for. So it's yours. You can do whatever you want with it. So your next step is you can sell the car, or you can junk it and sell the parts at the junkyard, and they'll give you money for it. So it's like they'll give you like 300 or something. I really don't know what the amount is, but for a scrap vehicle, you can get money for that, just in case you didn't know. So it's not a total loss, all right? Now you are building up your credit. You also, while you have your job, you have your first vehicle, you're maintaining the car, you can also start building your credit. So you have your bank account, you have a debit card. Next step is to try to start improving your credit, or even just establishing your credit, okay? And how you want to do that is apply for a credit card. You can start with a place like Walmart, Home Depot. You can also get a credit card. You can go through Credit Karma. You can go through Experian, and they will also help you and tell you what cards you're going to be eligible for, right? You can either get a secured or unsecured credit card. That's how you can start. You can start with a Chime card, okay? So there's a lot of options. So you want to start building. The reason why you want to build your credit is because you want to build trust with lenders so that you can get a better car. So after that car, you might want to go to get a pre-certified own. I don't know if they call it a pre-owned car or pre-certified car. You can go to another dealership and get a better car for like $15,000 or $20,000. You may qualify for that. And what they do, the bank will finance that loan. Again, you will probably need a co-signer, which is a family member, a father or a mother or a grandmother that can, or if you're married, somebody who can co-sign the loan, okay? So remember those terms: financing, co-signing, those are the things, and repossession. So if you don't make the payments, say like if you miss one or two payments, they will repossess the car. But I did find out that even though the car is repossessed, you still have a grace period where you can go back and pay up those those late payments and still get your car back. Okay, so it's not a total loss. All right. um, the other thing is, when you do have your car, you want to make sure you maintain it, especially a used car. So you're going to want to check the oil in your car quite frequently, and also check the coolant in your car. If you don't know how to do it, you can ask somebody to help you. And as well, you can go like to a car wash, and they'll do that for you. They'll change the oil for you. So you want to get it changed like every 3,000 miles. They'll check it. They'll check all the fluids, check your windshield wipers. If you need any car parts, you can go to a place like AutoZone. Um, Also, Walmart has oil and the coolant and those types of things that you want to do, that